Hola! Today, we're going to be taking notes about los verbos irregulares en el presente, common verbs that we need to know in the present tense that are irregular in how they conjugate in some way. Your job is to take down all of the notes, including verb meanings, and some of this is given not on the in the notes packet, but out loud. Make sure you've written down all conjugations correctly, and then to complete the activity at the end of the notes. Before we get started, you need to make sure that you take a look at the verbs yo-go at the top of the page. These verbs all have an irregular yo conjugation in which the ending changes to the letters go. You'll note that some of these verbs also have an asterisk next to them on the paper, and these are verbs that are also stem-changing verbs. And in fact, the two that you're going to conjugate at the bottom of the first page are stem-changing verbs. You need to make sure you write down the meaning of these verbs as we go through them. First, decir means to say or to tell. Poner means to put or to place. Traer means to bring. I have the yo form written down there because there's an additional letter added after the letter A before we add the go. Traigo, Traigo. That spelling changes in the yo form only. Venir means to come. Hacer means to make or to do. Tener is to have. And salir is to leave. You're going to write down the conjugations of dos verbos yo-go, or two yo-go verbs, to make sure that you have accurate information as to how these look. If you have additional questions about how to conjugate any of these verbs, we can go over them in class the next time we meet. Our first verb is decir, which means to say or to tell, and the conjugations are yo digo, tú dices, él, ella, or usted dice, nosotros decimos, vosotros decís, and ellos or ustedes dicen. Moving on to tener, which means to have. Make sure that you write down the accurate conjugations, including the stem change. Yo tengo, tú tienes, él, ella, or usted tiene, nosotros tenemos, vosotros tenéis, and ellos or ustedes tienen. Once you have this information down accurately, go on to Página 2 and the verbs that I call los verbos hoy. These verbs I call the hoy verbs because the yo form of all of them ends with the letters OY. The only verb that conjugates completely regularly after the yo form is dar, which means to give. The others are extremely irregular, including a star, and I'm saying that for a star because a star has accents that are absolutely necessary, and we'll go over that in more detail when we get to the verb estar. We're going to start off with the verb that goes back to the regular AR conjugations after the yo form, which is dar, to give. Yo doy, tú das, él, ella, usted da, nosotros damos, vosotros dais, and ellos or ustedes dan. Moving on to ir, to go. We have yo voy, tú vas, él, ella, and usted va, nosotros vamos, vosotros vais, and ellos or ustedes van. We have now the verb estar, which is to be, and the basic rule for estar is you use it to talk about things that are usually temporary. You'll note that 4 of the conjugations of estar have an accent over the A, and that accent is absolutely essential, especially with estás and está, because if you don't have the accent, estas means these, and esta means this. So you completely change the meaning of the word and the type of the word, because instead of being a verb, it would be an adjective. The conjugations that you need to have are estoy, for yo, tú estás, él, ella, usted está, nosotros estamos, vosotros estáis, ellos or ustedes están. We also have here the verb ser. For the verb ser, you need to make sure you have these irregular conjugations and realize that we use it to talk about things that are usually permanent. Connor, leave it. Sorry, I just had to tell my dog to stop attacking his dog bed there. The conjugations that we have are yo soy, tú eres, él, ella, usted es, nosotros somos, vosotros sois, and ellos or ustedes son. Finally, we have 3 more irregular verbs. Ver, which is also only irregular in the yo form. Saber and conocer, which are irregular as well in the yo form. Ver means to see. Our conjugations are yo veo, tú ves, él, ella, usted ve, nosotros vemos, vosotros veis, and ellos or ustedes ven. Our second to last verb is saber, which is one of the 2 verbs it means to know, and we use it to talk about knowing facts or information. Once again, we have an additional accent here on the E of se in the yo form, which is absolutely essential. If we don't have that accent over the E, se means himself, herself, yourself, themselves, or yourselves. Your conjugations are yo sé, tú sabes, él, ella, usted sabe, nosotros sabemos, vosotros sabéis, and ellos or ustedes saben. Our final verb is the verb conocer that we use to talk about knowing people or being familiar with a place. Conjugations are yo conozco, tú conoces, él, ella, or usted conoce, nosotros conocemos, vosotros conocéis, and ellos or ustedes conocen. You'll see other verbs that follow the same format of the conjugation of conocer, where the yo form ending changes to ZCO later on this year, like traducir, which means to translate, and conducir, which means to drive. Once you're done with all the notes and have completed all the information, make sure that you complete the activities at the bottom of page 3 and onto page 4. Gracias.